Ross here. Wait, that doesn't seem right. Top of the morning to you. No, that's not right. Happy trails. No, that's still not right. Howdy y'all, and welcome to the Shooting Star. I'm Josh Wayne, and today we are looking at these. So let's get closer. Now I'm going to start off by saying that I am not technically unboxing these. Because of collector's sake, these are going to stay in these packages. But I do have an extra one. And this extra one we are going to unbox. Now I specifically picked this one because it is one of the ones that the hood opens. So that'll give us a good look at that. And for collector's sake, I picked this one too because the box is actually in not very good shape. So if you're watching 30 years in the future and this is worth like $500 and you're going to cringe at me opening this, sorry. I get it. It's sort of like watching an old movie where classic cars are getting destroyed. You know that there was no other way they could have done it back then, but it's still sad to see. Still, like I said, that one's not in very good shape. These are. Now, these are the 50th anniversary. Happy birthday, Hot Wheels. 5. These are not the only 50th anniversary special editions, but these are the 5 classic ones, not including anything that may come out of Redline Club. These are... I don't want to say replicas, because that's not an accurate term. I'm going to put up, especially this one. I mean, this one's not even close. Tributes? I think tributes is a good term. Yeah, these are tributes to 5 of the original 1968 16s. In 1968, when Hot Wheels first came out, they had 16 different cars, not including the various different colors. Thankfully, Hot Wheels has been very gracious to us, and they've only produced one in these colors. These do not have multiple colors for each one that you have to get. This only comes in green, this only comes in purple, this red, gold, teal, blue, whatever you want to call that. Like I said, these aren't perfect replicas by any means, but they are a nice little tribute. Now, a little history into me. When I was younger, I had somewhere in the ballpark of around 4,000 Hot Wheels. It's probably somewhere in the ballpark of around 200 Redlines, original Redlines, the 2-piece wheels, plus a bunch of other Hot Wheels stuff from that time period. I even had the Hot Wheels TV series soundtrack record. That was a thing. Unfortunately, I purged a lot of the stuff I own at some point. And no, not like the movie. I had to get rid of a lot because my grandma was moving in with us. And I had to basically clear out 2 rooms worth of collectibles and antiques. And pretty much everything that was made after the 30s went. Most of the stuff I don't regret. The Hot Wheels, especially the original Redlines, I do. I wish I still had them. And at some point in the future, I actually might start buying some again. But this is a nice little beginning step. You're going to see more, and I'll explain that at the end of the video. But these are the 5 we get. So let's look at each of these individually before we open the other one. Here we have the 1968 Cougar. Now, off the top of my head, I don't remember the years. Ooh, there we go. The years actually being associated with the car. I think they were like Custom Cougar or something like that, because they were known as California Classics or California Customs when the original 16 came out. Now, this is the one that I have 2 of. So this is the one we're actually going to open. The hood does open on these. On some of them, on at least 2 of them. I'm not sure which 2 we'll look at in a second. But this one, the hood definitely opens. I don't know if these have suspension. The original 1968 cars did have suspension. I don't think these do, but we'll see when we open the one. They do have, though, a metal badge, and it is metal. It's not plastic. They haven't cheaped out on that. The front cover is really nice. They did a really good job of capturing the original covers. I don't know if it's quite the same size. Like I said, I don't have any originals to compare it to. I want to say the originals are slightly larger, but I might be wrong on that. And then we have the back. There's actually something about, this one's kind of open, some sort of sweepstakes, but I don't really care. As you can see, the 5 cars are listed along here, and basic information. You've just scored a piece of Hot Wheels history with the special 50th anniversary car inspired by the very first Hot Wheels. It launched in May of '68. Now that date is actually kind of debatable. You know, if you want to go by when they were first being produced, there were some that actually got released before. It gets complicated depending on who you ask, but I will say they do mention inspired by. These are not accurate, which is too bad. And I will also say these are all licensed cars, which is interesting because not all of the original Hot Wheels were. A lot of them were custom stuff, something like the Beatnik Bandit, which was designed by Ed Roth, I believe. I find it weird that they only went with actual real cars, because you have a Cougar, you have a Beetle, you have a Camaro, you have a Mustang, and you have a Barracuda. Those were actually real cars. So they didn't go with any of the custom ones that they had, which is kind of bizarre, especially since I think they still make a couple of those on occasion. So it's very strange to me. This is the 67 Camaro. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Black roof. The paint schemes are definitely very different as well. As you can see, these are the modern one-part type wheels. They are red lines, they are mag rims, but they are not the two-piece that cover the inside of the axle. I think that there's some from Redline Club that are specific anniversary ones that are like that, but I'm not 100% certain on that. Again, I'm not really up to the whole Hot Wheels thing anymore. The back is just identical, so there's nothing really there. And see, this one does use the term custom. And except for the paint scheme, I want to think this one looks a little bit closer to the original, but I'm not sure about that again. It does have this nice sort of matte roof that comes to the back, quite like. I don't believe this one opens. I'm trying to look. No, this one does not open. Let me check real quick. This one does. So I think this one and this one are the only two that the hood's open. Over there we have the badge. It focuses. Okay. Looking really nice. Here we can see the bottoms a little bit. They're quite a bit shinier than I think what you usually see on most of the new Hot Wheels. Is it focusing? Yeah, there we go. Here we have the custom Beetle. Again, they just call it Volkswagen Beetle. Now this one is really different. I mean, the original 16... In fact, I'll put up a picture of the original 16 right now. See, the original Volkswagen actually had an engine in the front, whereas this doesn't have that. This is just more of a standard Beetle model. But still, again, they are just inspired. The badge there. And I noticed that there is some printing on the top. I'm guessing that has to do with the licensing and stuff. We'll look at it better with the one that we open. And last is the 67 Hemi Barracuda. Again, the packaging on these is basically the same. Yes, they do have the individual cars up here on the top, but other than that, they're the same. I don't think this one has an opening. No, this one does not have an opening hood. Now this one I will say too, the green paint, and it kind of looks like it on all of them, is a little splotchy around any of the edges. I don't know if that's coming through on the camera. It's not. It's pretty subtle. These definitely don't look quite like the original Spectra Flame paint, but, you know, now, let's open her. I could do it fancy, try and preserve the box. But like I said, this one's a bit tattered anyways. And I really want to open one of them. I don't think I've ever opened a red line that's actually in a proper package before. Because if I had a few originals still in their proper packages, I certainly never opened them. And I'm going to try not to damage this too much. So I'm not going to rip it completely off. Vroom! Actually, considering this tablecloth, that glides really well. That's impressive. That is really impressive. I'm probably the only one who would... I'm probably the only person who actually is opening these. Well, I'm sure some kids are buying them. These actually look like, out of the package, they're lacquered. Now, the original ones weren't lacquered as far as I can remember. Basically, what they were is the bodies were very shiny. I don't remember if they were chrome or what, or if they were just like this material here. And the paint that went over them was called Spectraflame paint, and it was semi-clear. And that's how they did it. I don't think that's how they've done it here. I think they've used slightly metallic paint and then lacquered it. I'm not sure about that, but let's see if we can get in a little closer now. There's the 50th logo. Happy birthday to you. This song's not really copyrighted. There's actually a little nice little detail right there too, which I quite like. Again, you can see the wheels. The red lines themselves aren't really quite as smooth as you might expect, but still. Here's a good look at the base, and I am holding it the right way up. See 68 Cougar. I see those numbers there. I'm not sure what all those numbers mean. Back when I was collecting them, they didn't have a bunch of numbers on them like that, so I'm assuming that's a new thing. And like I said, well, we'll take a look at the front and back first. Here's the front. Again, nice detail in the paint. Really nice detail in the front grille right there. That's fantastic. Brake lights are painted on in the back. And you can see the little exhaust, the gas tank on the bottom. And like I said, boop, come on, there we go. There we go. It's pretty nice. It's well detailed. Let's see if we can see the inside at all. Again, nicely detailed. I mean, it looks original. I mean, there's nothing really far off. I can confirm there is no suspension. I didn't expect there to be. It does feel like they might have mounted the axle holders a little bit farther in to allow the axle itself to bend a little bit to sort of give you that fill, but there is no actual proper suspension. It's too bad. It is also blue tinted windows, which is kind of interesting. There was a thing about blue and clear tinted windows based on where they were from in the originals. I'm not sure if they all are. Let's have a quick look. Yes, they all have blue tinted windows. And last, we need to have a look at the badge. Again, it's nicely done. It feels... Actually, I'm not going to lie, it feels a little bit sturdier than the originals. I hate to say that, but it does genuinely. I wouldn't say these are nearly as well built as the originals, but this does. This does feel... Of course, how much this will bend before it breaks off is a whole nother question that I'm not going to try and figure out. So let's see what this says on here. Let's see if I can read it off the camera. I'm guessing no. No. Oh, wait. Okay. Maybe. Ford Motor Company. Yeah, so it's just the Ford trademarks and stuff. I certainly don't remember any of that being on the original badges. It's kind of weird to have that on the badges, but is that on the box? There is a nice little paragraph, but it's sort of for all of them. It's not individual. So I'm surprised that they bothered to do that. That's kind of weird. It doesn't seem entirely necessary, but it is nice nonetheless, and it's nice to have the badge. Sure, what do you really do with them? I guess that's a valid question, but nonetheless, it's just really nice to have something like that. And until I figure out what to do with them, if I can find it, yes, I even managed to score a Hot Wheels box. I don't think this is the box that these came in, because these say made in Thailand, but I think these are Malaysia. Yeah, these are Malaysia, so, but still, it doesn't change the fact that for storage purposes, I don't want that one. I don't need to store that. For storage purposes, it is absolutely perfect. So like I said, I used to have a lot of Hot Wheels, a ton of them. Again, somewhere in the ballpark of I think around 4,000. Today the only thing left of that collection are these two. This is the first DeLorean that I believe that they made. It doesn't have the folding wheels or anything like the newer ones do. And a Flintstones one from McDonald's that I think changes color, if I'm not mistaken. I just know it's much better than the Flintstones one that they're making now. Now I have a box literally full of Hot Wheels. Sitting over there, as a matter of fact. And they are all very specifically these kind of Hot Wheels. These are movie-based Hot Wheels. They are either from movies or TV shows, or they are famous cars. Now, Batmobile, the original Batmobile, my favorite one, the one that was built based on the Lincoln Futura, something like that. James Bond's car, the Yellow Submarine. These are all going to be on the channel at some point. I'm going to do them in bulk, maybe 3, 4 at a time. I am going to open all of them. I mean, see, I'm going to open them. I'm not going to pull the has to stay in the brand new packages for collector's sake stuff on them. I am just doing that with these because these are now the only red lines I own. And I do genuinely like them, and I want to keep them, especially since I was able to get basically the whole set by only buying 5. I quite enjoy that. In fact, I might put them in bubble wrap at some point. And as these open, these may end up on the shelf behind me. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be doing more of that stuff. There's going to be more other toys on the channel, both old ones, new ones, and stuff that looks old but is new, like these tin plate toys. I have a ton of those. I've got a great big Wilsco, something like that, a steam lorry on the shelf over there. That's going to be in a video at some point. I mean, it's an actual remote control car that is powered by steam, which is kind of awesome. So keep that in mind. This stuff's going to be on the channel here and there, and come back and check. I do gaming on the channel as well. I did a stupid infomercial for the Man Sport that I put up yesterday, so go check that out. Check out anything, like, subscribe, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. That's it for this time. Happy trails.